Welcome to Monster Fight Today!
And now for something completely different.
Today, Josh and I are going to engage in classic verbal combat to determine which of two monsters would be the victor in a fight. However, the final victor will be decided by you guys. That's right, there are links to polls within the description where you can vote, and please feel free to leave comments telling us your pick and why. If you'd like a slightly deeper dive into the rules and format, you can find it here. But if you enjoy crappy paint drawings and Josh and I arguing about things and making fun of each other, you'll probably get a kick out of this. So without further ado, welcome to the new Ultimate Turf Wars. So I guess we'll start with some show and tell then.
Start with some show and tell. Behold, as I play my first card. 3, 2, 1, go!
If you look at its face, why did you
Is yours a Gypceros by any chance?
Yeah, and I have no idea what yours might be. It could potentially be a Malfestio, but with that face, I'm not quite sure.
It's an accurate face!
It sort of looks like a really sad old man to me.
Well, that could be Owly.
5 minutes later.
I feel like you gave it a mouth and a beak, and the beak sort of looks like a nose.
Well, either way, this is a slam dunk, so...
No.
Alright. Listen up, son. Cousin. Daughter.
Really making good use of this time here.
I've not started the timer yet. That wasn't part of my argument! So Malfestio, okay, alright, is a nocturnal predator, right? And Gypceros isn't, which means when Malfestio attacks, Gypceros will be asleep, and anything that's asleep can just be killed because it's asleep and can't fight back. So just a quick with the claw, and then it's gone. But even if we're talking about throwing them into an arena where they can't escape and they must fight to the death, I mean, Gypceros is already confused. Look at him. What do you think's going to happen when he gets actually confused? He's going to literally Pokemon hurt itself in confusion. Like, he's going to smash his face into the ground, and his rubber ain't saving him. Okay, and you might think that rubber hides an advantage, but a Malfestio can grab and pick up stuff like twice as large as he is. That's how fucking strong he is, right? So he's going straight through that. Also, he can navigate perfectly with sound, so he can close his eyes and not even care about the flashes, and it would still be absolutely fine, and I'm out of time, so boom.
So,
go!
Malfestio is a nocturnal predator, and Gypceros is not, which means that Malfestio will be asleep when Gypceros is awake. So that's fucking gone. So, Malfestio, what you're banking on is that Malfestio will have seen a Gypceros before and know to close his eyes. So, obviously Gypceros' first move should be to flash. And I think the big thing, the big, like, coup de grace of the whole thing, what monster's going to expect another monster to fucking play dead? I'm done. That's all I need to say.
You still got 20 seconds, man! Okay, but look.
His hide is made of rubber, which makes it hard to get a bounce and slide around, and fall around, and fuck.
Well, I feel defeated. But look, put this in your smite and proverbially poke it. The play dead is irrelevant, because what is his attack waking up for it? To flail around and hope it does some damage. Like, it's gonna
because Malfestio's obviously, upon thinking he's dead, is gonna walk up and try and eat him.
Yeah, okay, but even if he takes the full wake-up attack, it's a gentle, like, body slap. Like, it doesn't do anything. He just wriggles a bit. There's no impact in that. There's no force. He just stands back up like, I'm Gypceros.
Yeah, and then he'll flash him, and he's win.
honestly, how is a Gypceros going to kill a Malfestio, even a blind one?
Just fucking walking into it with poison. Like, we haven't even talked about the
poison is slow.
Yeah, so he just needs to poison him once and then just flash him forever.
But just chain flash him over and over. He doesn't do that. Like a person can't run forever. He runs out of stamina.
He's not fucking running, though. He just needs a flash like every 10 seconds. That's not even
Oh,
that
motherfucker.
frequently. That's not even that frequently. All you need to do is poison him, then while he's poisoned, you flash him, and then while he's flashed and poisoned, you just punch him in the face with your fucking Gypceros tail.
Punch him in the face with a fucking Gypceros tail? Sorry,
Just
what?
fucking extend it.
Okay, but Malfestio has blade wings that extend out when it gets super angry, and they can just slice through rock. So what do you think they're going to do to a Gypceros? Just going to fly past it and bisect it?
I think we both know that rubber is stronger than rock.
No! Don't lump me into that! There is so many ways that Malfestio can cripplingly disable a Gypceros, and so much of its weaponry can pierce its hide.
Well, I suppose...
Right? A lucky situation, maybe a flash goes off and Malfestio's in the air, and in the fall it breaks its neck. That's the best chance a Gypceros has here. Its beak isn't getting through him, and it doesn't have enough physical force to crush any bones or anything.
I think he does. I mean, he's pretty hefty. He poisons you.
I mean, you are going to be like, what the fuck is happening when a Gypceros comes at you, but not because of the danger it possesses.
And then just when you think you've got him, you don't. You never know if he's truly dead. Does it really end? Can the battle truly end with a monster that might never be dead? Because you never know. Maybe he'll play dead a second time. Who knows? It happens.
All right. Fuck it. I've said my piece. All right. They can decide. But I'm happy with. I think you're outclassed here, buddy.
Oh, come on. You don't understand the power of Gypceros.
You don't even like Gypceros.
No, I think Gypceros is great when I'm not fighting him.
I mean, that's fair enough. All right. Next up. They both look so scared! They both look so scared!
What's with the nose? He's got Rajang horns for fangs as well, by the way.
Dude, yours just look like you drew a mouth on a mountainside.
Excuse me, I think that's a pretty good rendition of how a Ukanlos sigil would look if you put it on a sheet.
Alright. So, Akantor versus Ukanlos. You're up first this time, buddy.
Well, Akantor obviously relies on things being hot around him because he's fucking hot and he wants everything to be hot. But Ukanlos is real cold. So what he just do is to do the ice beam. He just shoot it right at Akantor. He shoot it. He cool him down. He cool his blood down. He cool everything down. And then Akantor's like, fuck. I mean, I know I'm hot, but this is fucking cold. It's not just cold. It's cold enough to be cold anywhere. He can be cold anywhere. He can be cold in a volcano if he wanted to. He's Ukanlos. And one thing that Ukanlos can do is he can. It's in his name. Ukanlos.
You got 25 seconds.
How was that 35 seconds? I don't remember if he's bigger, but if he is, that's an advantage. And if he's not, it means he's faster, so that's an advantage.
You're actually so
he's got
retarded.
powerful teeth and piercing yellow eyes. I mean, honestly, if I walked in front of one, I would just stop and let it kill me, because I couldn't stop it, so I don't think Akantor would do any differently.
Okay, your
He's the white god!
He's the white god, man! Alright, well, the black god... I mean, we only need to look to Pokemon to see what happens when fire meets ice. One is super effective against the other, and I don't need to tell you which way round it is, because it comes down to whether Akantor is hotter than Ukanlos is cold. And really, Ukanlos does a snow beam, maybe ice at most, whereas Akantor is lava, which is significantly thousands of degrees in advance. So in the situation where you try and do a cool that it's not happening, it would just melt steam, and he'd be like, oh, this is a refreshing little bath I'm getting. Thanks, you white prick. They're about the same size, about the same strength, but an Akantor can bite a Gravios in half, and there is actually a video of him doing that. Ding! Ding, 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 ding! Which means he would crunch through an Ukanlos shell like it was nothing but a buttery biscuit with his teeth. Other than that, they're fairly physically well matched. I really think it just comes down to the fire being stronger than the ice in this case. Otherwise, it would be true 50-50, and boom!
This isn't Pokemon, and you realize the reason that works is because it's fire, like attacking a wall of ice would melt it. That's
Yeah, but
not
Akantor can
wall
inflict defense down, and Ukanlos can't, so he would have an easier time
Also,
getting through.
Why are you sure it's lava? Why is it not just fire? You can't know for sure that it's
No,
not
the
just
beam.
lava.
Yeah, sure, the beam might be fire, but the thing is, Akantor can live in lava. That's how hot he is, which means his internal temperature.
You actually
is
don't
not
have to be hot to live in
bothered.
lava. Because that just depends on how heat resistant your shell is more than anything.
Yeah, but I don't think Akantor could be cooled down by any amount of ice beaming. Certainly not the amount that Ukanlos produces. He very rarely uses it.
I don't think Ukanlos could be heated up, so...
And Akantor are actively aggressive, seeking fights everywhere, whereas Ukanlos like, leave me alone in my ice cave. Which means Akantor would be more up for it. He'd be raring to fucking go. Like, he'd be on it.
Yeah,
whereas Ukanlos is much more of a, I guess I'll fight then.
Essentially what you've described is Ukanlos is like a monk who's trained for years, but he only fights in self-defense. He's a peaceful man.
But he's not trained. He doesn't interact with
And what
anything.
you said is Akantor is just looking for a bar fight. So who wins, a monk or a bar fight? A drunk or a holy man with a shovelly chin? Not to mention,
Ukanlos to a drunk versus a holy man.
I believe it's called Drunk versus Monk, the newest sitcom on NBC on Tuesdays at 8. But you're also forgetting Ukanlos' chin, which I think is absolutely strong enough to just fucking not even have to bite him. That's the thing, is Akantor, he either has to hit him with the beam, which we don't even know if that's going to be strong enough. We pretty much agree that it could pretty much a toss-up on that one. But he has to bite him otherwise, whereas Ukanlos just has to fucking hit him with his pointy chin.
Yeah, but
It's like a saw
Akantor's
blade.
tusks are definitely as an effective face-based weaponry as the shovel chin. Because the thing is, the tusks are designed to pierce the hardest hides of his prey, whereas the chin is just designed for digging. So one is a tool and the other is a weapon.
Yeah, but you also underestimate the type of things that Ukanlos digs through. He doesn't just dig through rock. He digs through much colder and harder things.
Colder and harder rock. Is that where you're going from there?
I'm sure his chin could cut through a I mean, it literally looks like a saw blade.
I think this is the coup de grace, alright? So Ukanlos has a habit of jumping into the air and landing on his enemies, which we've seen in-game, right? Whereas Akantor, specifically, his back is bristling with spikes akin to his tusks, designed to deter aerial threats, which means Ukanlos would land on Akantor, which would be like, oh, this is heavy, but he would just pincushion himself in his soft underbelly and get absolutely shredded.
You've also essentially tried to make the argument that Ukanlos is too stupid to realize that he can't jump on Akantor.
He's too stupid. They're not elder dragons. These guys are just animalistic animals. They're just gonna do what they do.
Animals are smart enough to realize, all right, he's covered in spikes, I won't fucking jump on him.
You realize lions bite porcupines in the back and die because they get their face mashed with spines, right?
Because lions are stupider than Ukanlos. They aren't. They're not the Saharan god. Like, there's some sort of intelligence that has
It's
to be
animal,
associated.
but it's equivalence, okay? Ukanlos cannot look at Akantor and go, oh, that's a bit dangerous. He's just gonna go fly.
What you said was Akantor is seeking fights, Ukanlos is not seeking them, which means that Akantor, if Ukanlos had something like that, Akantor would just, like, not notice, because he's not observant, he doesn't care, he just wants to fight fucking everything. Whereas Ukanlos, because he's more passive, unlike a lion, he will take the time to notice these
No,
things.
they're equivalently intelligent, all right?
Yeah, but
the issue
equivalently
is
intelligent with a different
Akantor
personality.
fights stuff because he roams. Ukanlos just chooses a little territory and stays in it, right? It's not like they're inherently that different in how they go about it. They both murderize everything near them. It's just Akantor goes out his way to make more things near him. Look, I think bottom line, physically, it is a true 50-50, but Akantor has the elemental advantage, which I would rationalize to be like a 60-40 in Akantor's favor over hundreds of repetitions.
I'm not even 100% sure that it is, because the thing is, unless we know, like, the numbers for how cold one of them is and how hot one of them is, that's really hard to just say.
My literal final words is Akantor's other name is the Supreme Wyvern, so really, that's...
I don't believe you made that up. His other name is the Black God, not the Supreme Wyvern.
He's also the Supremacy Wyvern, so...
Alright, well, Ukanlos is the king of all monsters, so...
That's not... You can't just make that shit up! Fuck it. Over to you guys. Akantor.
And Ukanlos.
Alright, final one, here we go.
See, I know what it is, but you made it really hard by not using colors.
Well, he's very black
honestly, yours sort of looks like a Pookie who used gel on his hair.
That is the most concerned Anjanath I've ever seen in my life.
I did try and keep a theme among all three of mine.
He's so worried.
Well, I'm sending them to fight to the death. All right. Well, I think it's a pretty commonly understood thing that Anjanath just is the strongest tier 2 monster. Or tier 1 monster. See, there you go. There you go. I already made that mistake because he's actually a tier 2 monster in my heart and in the hearts of many. Because everybody remembers the first wall they had Monster Hunter World. Whether it was a wall or not, you know that he was actually difficult. He was the first one that actually presented some sort of threat. He fucking fires through everything. Have you ever seen some of his fire breaths just one-shot people? They do that frequently. They do that all the time. They do that to all the low-rank hunters because that's what it did. If you don't get hit by it, it's fine. But you're gonna get hit by it because he's fighting a fucking Radobaan. Radobaan's made of tar. You know what tar is weak to? Fucking fire. You light tar on fire, it heats up, you lose all the things that are sticking to it, and then he's got no bones. No bones, no armor. Physical beats it because the fire beat the tar.
Okay, but in my defense, firstly, we have no idea if it's the type of tar that will light on fire, because fire weapons don't light him on fire, torch pods don't light him on fire, nothing seems to actually light him on fire. Like, it's a natural excess secretion he's doing. It's not literal tar as we know it, it's just the waste product from his diet. It acts like tar, but it's not literal tar, so I'd argue it's not flammable, otherwise that would come into play. But more than that, right, I don't disagree that Anjanath's the mechanically most difficult tier 1 monster, but what do you think his normal flesh hide is going to do when it gets rolled into by 2 tons of spiky wheel of death at that speed, right? It's just going to crunch, and his rib cage is going to collapse, and he's just going to fucking die. Like, his chin smashes cause so much shockwave that we fall over, right? So he's going to sleeping gas him, and then a chin smash on his face, and what used to be his skull is now like red mush on the floor. And that's my time up.
All right. Well, regardless of, it's not about the flammability of the tar so much as it is the heat, the viscosity. What is the melting point of the tar? Because all you need to do is heat it up enough that the bones start to slide out. Because it doesn't have to be that hot for that. If it works like tar, because he is picking up the bones, it just needs to be hot enough to sort of undo that a little bit. And no fire weapon from a hunter is going to one-shot another hunter, whereas his fire breath fucking one-shots people.
Yeah, but what about the rest?
What I mean, what about the rest? Radobaan falls over when he rolls half the time.
Okay, but look, the thing is, Anjanath specifically doesn't use fire unless he's angry. It's too taxing on his body otherwise.
Yeah.
So,
and he's
right,
gonna get angry real fast.
Yeah, but his first thing is going to be a classic bite. That's what he does. He tries to nom. And when he bites Radobaan, he's gonna just put bone spikes through the roof of his mouth.
I don't like your arguments. These monsters are so stupid they'd kill yourself!
But what else would it do?
I mean, big pointy thing! I will put my mouth perfectly on that to impale my face! No! They're not dumb enough for that!
To bring it. Lions bite porcupines!
And you're saying that Monster Hunter monsters are the exact same intelligence as a lion biting a porcupine. First of all, a porcupine isn't even sharp enough to...
T-Rex, which has a smaller brain than a lion.
Yeah, but a Radobaan is also larger than a porcupine. The reason that lions bite porcupines is because they look small and soft.
Let's ignore biting then. No matter what physical attack Anjanath uses on a Radobaan, he's going to very forcefully push a part of himself into sharp bone spikes.
If he has not melted the bone off yet. And I do agree,
yeah, but he won't melt it
that
first
he has to get angry.
He doesn't use fire until he's angry.
I know, he has to get angry. But I don't think he'll take enough damage from hitting himself into Radobaan before he gets angry to count out his enrage.
But at absolute best, he'll have multiple stab wounds.
Yeah, but having multiple stab wounds when your opponent's dead is still a victory.
But he won't get to the fire point because the multiple stab wounds will kill him.
I think you're overestimating how sharp... It's not like he's sharpened. They're just pieces of bone that he's found. They could be any which type of shape. Like, type of shape. Like...
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Though Anjanath has a lot of force behind him, so don't need to be that sharp. But more importantly, though, the strength of Radobaan's impacts, like, Anjanath's body can't hold up to that. He's got no defense, really. It's just skin and normal flesh. So, like, one solid wheelie impact, and he's gonna have broken bones. I guess the crux of my argument is I think Anjanath would be too weak to win by the time he would engage fire.
Yeah, and I think that he would engage fire before that, and I also think that the fire would be warranted to get rid of the bones, which just makes the fight physical, which without the bones, I think Anjanath wins hands down.
Yeah, but you're assuming that it's just going to melt all of his bones off of him.
I don't think it's going to melt all of it off. I think it's going to heat him up enough to trip Radobaan up, because even if he just heats it up enough that the bones start shifting a little bit, think about how much that's going to fuck up Radobaan. He tries to roll, his bones start moving around under him.
Yeah, but what's he going to do to stop the sleep? Radobaan sleeps things when he feels threatened.
Radobaan sleeps things within 2 feet of him.
Yeah, but Anjanath's going to go for it. He'd have to be very lucky to avoid the timing.
We don't even know if it's enough to put an Anjanath to sleep, because monsters have different sleep thresholds than humans, obviously.
Well, the Radobaan's got the strongest sleep in the New World, so if anything can, it's Radobaan.
But I guess the question here is Radobaan's sleep as strong as a sleep toad? This comes down to 2 things, I think, here, is the potency of Radobaan's sleep and Anjanath's heat of fire on Radobaan. Because Radobaan's going to win the fight before Anjanath uses fire, in terms of little battles, but not the whole war, because I don't think Anjanath will die by that point. I think Anjanath is tanky enough that he won't die by that point.
Okay, but even if we accept that the fight progresses, Anjanath's weak, and then the bones come off, now it's a physical fight between a boneless Radobaan and a weakened Anjanath. And at that point, Radobaan might have enough to finish their Anjanath.
Yeah, he might, but I also think there's a point where Anjanath realizes, hey, fire's effective, and this guy really likes to be up close to me. I'm going to use fire and kill him. We've found the points that of major contention, and I don't think either of us are budging a huge amount past that.
Yeah,
So I think we found our point here.
Yeah, this one's ready to be turned over to you guys. So there you have it. We've got Malfestio versus Radobaan chicken. You even know that. You got nothing.
Well, no, I was hoping you were gonna go with something a little bit different. Obviously, I should have, in hindsight, thought obviously it's gonna be Malfestio, but like, there are so many things that Gypceros counters so well.
Then Akantor versus Ukanlos.
Flash is so good, just not in this situation.
And then Radobaan versus Anjanath. There'll be 3 polls in the description. Let's have your input. Comment who you think would win and your reasoning. And let us know what you liked of this. I don't know what this is, but it is something, and that's important. Super
monster hunt battles.
Yes. How about Ultimate Turf War?
Ultimate Turf War. Wasn't that what the other thing was called? Essentially?
Yeah. I just used that.
I feel like we should change it a little bit.
I mean, could do if you want. Put this in your smike and proverbially poke it. Put this in your pipe and proverbially smoke it is what I wanted.
That's okay. That's not making it in.
Fuck you, man!
I'm going to Google search whatever a smike is and then a hand poking it. Alright, if you're here, one of 2 things has happened. Either you went to the timestamp because you are genuinely interested in the rules, or you stopped paying attention, let the video run on past the ending and the post-credits, and now you're here. Either way, I guess you now get to listen to me for a minute. The formatting and rule set for the show, then, is fairly simple for the most part. There are 3 categories. Today's were bird wyverns, flying wyverns, and tier 1 world monsters. We reveal our monsters through paint drawings of their likeness, and then we each get 1 minute of uninterrupted time to fight for our side, an opening argument, if you will. After this, it descends into pure chaos until we feel like both sides are sufficiently argued for, and then it all goes into the hands of you people at home, or wherever you happen to be. So get out there and vote, please, or stay in and vote. Just, for the love of God, I really love votes.